26-year-old Sally from Bardstown, Kentucky asks, I live in a small town in Kentucky and there are no modeling agencies here. Can I send my photos to agencies in bigger cities like New York or Los Angeles? Hi, I'm Joe Edelman and you're watching Model Mondays, where each week I will do my best to answer a question from the hundreds of emails I receive from people like you who want to know more about the business of modeling. This week, Sally from Kentucky asks if it's okay to send her photos to modeling agencies in bigger cities since she lives in a small town. Sally, if you're 5'10 or 5'11 and you're able to move to those cities at your own expense, sure, go for it. If you're not tall and you're not at a point in your life where you can make the move and afford to pay for it yourself, then submitting yourself to agencies that are more than 2 hours from where you live is probably not going to get you signed. Agencies are usually reluctant to sign talent that lives more than a 2-hour drive from them because there's so much that can go wrong. With 2 hours or more travel time, you could get stuck in major traffic jams, have a car breakdown, get lost. You get the point. On the day of a shoot for an advertising client, the photographer, the grips, the makeup artist, the stylist, all of these people get paid regardless of if the model shows up. If the model's late or doesn't make it at all, that is a ton of money that gets thrown away. So to be safe, the less travel, the better. You have to understand that there are attractive men and women in every city in this country. Modeling agencies aren't desperate for talent. The big city agencies have hundreds of people submitting to them every month and sometimes every week. In other words, it's not like in the movies. They're not going to send you plane tickets to travel all over the place. There's no need for a client to spend that kind of money. Now, before you think, well, I would gladly travel the day before and stay in a hotel, or if you have a family or friends in the big city that you can stay with, or if you're one of those lucky people that has a parent who's a pilot and you can fly for free, slow down. It still isn't that practical. Let's use Sally as the example. If she intends to sign with agencies in Los Angeles, she would need to make at least one trip to LA and meet with the agencies. Then if they sign her and start sending her out for go-sees and auditions, if she's lucky, they'll call her a few days in advance. But often that call is going to come at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and the go-see is the next morning at 9 a.m. You can't tell them that you need more notice or ask if you can go another day. That's like applying for a job at McDonald's or any other company, and then when they offer it to you, saying that you can't work. Well, then why did you apply? And then, of course, if she gets the gig, she still has to go back for the shoot, which will likely be anywhere from a few days to a few weeks later. Neither the modeling agency nor the client are going to pay for those travel expenses. So it adds up real quick and will probably cost you more money than you would make for doing the job. So the bottom line, you model where you live. Unfortunately for many people, they just don't live in a place where there are a lot of modeling opportunities. In Sally's case, Bardstown, Kentucky is about 40 minutes from Louisville, which is a very small market, and 2 hours exactly from Cincinnati, Ohio, as well as 2 hours from Nashville, Tennessee. So indeed, there's probably little to no modeling in Bardstown, but with a good portfolio and proper presentation, Sally could potentially get signed in 3 different markets. And by the way, the answers that I provide to these questions are based on the highest percentage of people who try to become models. There are always exceptions. I know a few commercial models who work in different cities and travel frequently. Fortunately for them, they have additional circumstances that allow them to do so. They either have a very unique look or talent or a background in acting that allows them to do lots of spokesmodeling or TV commercial work. In other words, yes, there are always exceptions. But before you think that you can be the exception, take a close look at why the exceptions exist. Not everyone can be the exception. That's why it's called an exception. That's all for this week. If you find these videos helpful, please give them a thumbs up and take a second to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss a single episode. And if you have a question about modeling that you want answered, post it in the comments section below. Your question could become my next video. Until next week, if you have a passion for modeling, be sure to visit my website for loads of articles about modeling, as well as the most complete modeling agency directory online.